am alone today. My sidekick is not home from work yet. So if he should happen to arrive during this broadcast, if he's up to it, he will join the conversation. So if this is your first time, welcome. I am Karen Sawyer, and today we are going to continue with the conversation we had yesterday all about our Jamaica vacation. So I am going to share with you some travel tips to help you prepare for your next Jamaica vacation. So before I get into all of that, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I publish a video and when I go live. Hey, so let me go ahead, welcome, and open this up on my computer so that I can see the chat. So, like I said, I am today solo, and I'm going to simply pick up from yesterday. I'm going to talk about some travel tips. Okay. So again, welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back if this is returned for you. So as we said yesterday, and if you didn't see yesterday, you can go back and visit that. We took, it was a family vacation of 8. We took a vacation, Christmas vacation, to Montego Bay, Jamaica. It was our very first time traveling for Christmas. So we learned a lot. There was a rude awakening because we learned a whole lot. So some of our pitfalls we would like to share with you so that you can perhaps avoid them on either your next Christmas vacation or your vacation whenever you decide to take one. So the first thing I want to talk about is your luggage. So depending upon which airline you choose will determine how much luggage you can carry on and check for free. Nothing is free. It's already calculated in there, but at no additional cost. So with that being said, you want to minimize your luggage, okay? So the best way that I have found for me to have as much ample space in my luggage as possible is I roll all of my clothes as opposed to fold them. And then what I do when I roll them, and I'm going to actually have this as a video. So if you're interested in seeing how I packed, I will be having a video all about that. But what I do is I roll them based upon the outfits. So I have maybe 2 pairs of slacks and 2 shirts that I know I'm wearing, say, for the first day. I go ahead and roll those and put them in the luggage, and I take the next roll and I roll it up. So I might put all my PJs together and I roll them and put them there. So I found that I can get much more items in my suitcase that way. So that's just a tip for you. You can roll your clothing instead of folding them and layering them one on top of another. Now, this is very important, and my son learned this lesson. So I have 5 sons, and the twins are the babies. They're 19. And the baby of the family, and he's the youngest of the twins, so he's the baby, he thinks he knows everything. And he is quite bright, I must say. So I guess I'm going to take the responsibility. I'm going to take the blame on this one. Since he thinks he knows everything, and every time I tell him something, he already knows it, I guess I didn't realize that he didn't realize that you should not put your medication in checked luggage. So he put his inhaler in his packed suitcase. And when we got to Jamaica, of all people, he's the only suitcase that did not come on the belt. It was the weirdest thing ever. And there was a bunch of people. When I say a bunch, I'm going to say maybe 20 people off that plane that did not get their luggage. We waited for about an hour and a half, I kid you not, for them to go ahead and put the rest of the luggage on that belt. He was sweating bullets. I'm trying to make it not be so devastating to him by saying, look, It's nothing but clothes. We can replace clothes. And then he tells me he has his medicine, his inhaler, in the checked luggage. And I'm like, what? I said, you're not supposed to put medication in your checked luggage. Well, Mom, you didn't tell me. And so I'm not trying to get into an argument with him. I'm simply trying to help him with his anxiety in that moment. So I want to share with you, because perhaps you've never even flown before. Never put your medication or anything valuable, meaning jewelry, in your checked luggage. So eventually, an hour and a half, it might have been longer than an hour and a half. Honestly, there was a lot of upset people. His luggage came through, and he said, I'm not even checking this luggage when we go back. Well, that's the crazy thing. He didn't even need to check that luggage because it was the size of a carry-on. So, therefore, if he had put that under his seat or in the overbin, we could have just been out of there. So when you travel, you don't always have to check luggage. If you're able to put your belongings in a suitcase that is the size of a carry-on, you don't even need to check your luggage. Therefore, when you land, you just get off the plane and go on your merry way, and you don't have to go to baggage claim. So my husband said, wow, look at the size of that suitcase. He didn't even need to check it. I said, I know, right? Once again, I'm going to take the blame for that because perhaps he had no idea. He claims he didn't. So I apologize, and I said my apologies. But he knows every darn thing. Hey, Shanna Entertainment. Let me see how you say your name. I got that all messed up. I said Shanna Entertainment. Let me see if I can see the chat over here. Because I saw it just showed up on my phone, but I don't see the chat over here on my computer, and I'm not sure why. Because that came up and disappeared. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can see that. That's the weirdest thing ever. I have no idea. And I don't have high chat, live chat, all messages. I don't know why I don't see that because I saw it yesterday. I don't know. That's the weirdest thing. And I see there's 3 people here. Shantirement. That's how you say it. Because I checked out your page. So you and your husband you are on retirement. So you're sharing on your channel everything that you're doing during your retirement stage. So yes, I'm going to go through and see some more of your videos. So I saw that today, but I don't know why I can't see my chat over here. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying about not putting any medications and no valuables in your checked luggage. So that was a lesson that he will never forget. And again, don't think that because you don't have to always check your luggage. So on Southwest, you have to check the airline you're going on. You can take 2 checked luggages. You can take a carry-on and a personal item. So for me, what I do is I bring a carry-on. So it could be a small suitcase. It could be like a duffel bag, like it could be a backpack. Well, actually, I take my backpack as my personal item because that's where I have my computer, and then I take my smaller luggage. Okay, so I take the personal item and a carry-on, and then if I need 2 suitcases, my checked luggage, then I do one of those suitcases. Might have just shoes in it. It just depends on how long I'm going to be gone and where I'm going. So, and your carry-on, in addition to having your medication and your jewelry, ladies and gents, don't put your jewelry or anything like designer belts. I have a friend, he had all these designer belts in his checked luggage, and all of those belts were stolen. So anything of value, my recommendation is to not put it in your checked luggage, put it in your carry-on, okay? Now, in addition to that, because people's luggage gets lost. So I am an event designer and planner, and I was at an event, and my roommate was a young man, and he traveled from Arkansas. I had to think of that. Arkansas. And his luggage was missing. And there was a whole formal event. His luggage was missing. And so eventually they found his luggage after the fact. And he had to drive like 2 hours to the airport to get his luggage. So with that being said, always plan for the possibility that your luggage may be lost. So if that's the case, you should put your toothbrush, your deodorant, so any of your personal hygiene stuff, your toothpaste, your deodorant, your toothbrush, your medication, a pair of pajamas, a bathing suit if you're going somewhere where you want to swim, whether it's in the ocean, if it's the pool, if it's the sauna, the hot tub, whatever, a bathing suit so you're not completely SOL. And also an extra pair of clothing and undergarments. Okay, so therefore the next day you can go on about your business, and if you have to go shopping at a nearby store, Walmart, then you can do that. But you will at least have your pajamas. Your whole day is not ruined because you do have your swimsuit and your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your medication, your jewelry, etc. Okay, so please be sure to take an extra pair of clothing and your PJs and that carry-on. All right. So that's what I wanted to say to you about your carry-on. Now, with regard to your carry-on, if you're taking like hair care products, for an example, and I'm bringing this up because this happened with my oldest son on our way back to the U.S. from Jamaica, he had a bottle of, I don't know how you pronounce it, TGIN. It's some type of hair moisturizer or whatever for your hair. He wasn't thinking, I guess, just packing and trying to get out of there. He had that in his carry-on. So when we went through security and they went through the belt under the whole x-ray machine thing, whatever you call that, they made him throw that in the trash. And I said, you know, they didn't throw it in the trash. That lady kept it for herself. But anyway, nonetheless, make sure that you check the sizes of the items that you're carrying on the plane in your carry-on. Okay. Also, another a tip is if your plane has movies on the back of the seat, you're great. But if they don't, like Southwest, and they offer Wi-Fi and free movies during the trip, then you're going to want to bring your tablet or your computer, and you can even use your cell phone. But make sure you remember the night before to completely charge your device so that you can go ahead and watch a movie during your flight. Okay, I hate when I forget, because sometimes I do, and I might be at 50%, so I'm not going to be able to watch a whole movie or continue the next one and don't get to watch the whole thing, because that's what happens. And I'm always pissed at myself when I do that. Now, also note that some airlines will offer Wi-Fi, meaning texting, and then you can get on your social media and all that jazz, and then $8. I didn't need to do that. I decided I'm not going on YouTube and doing none of uploading no video. I'm not publishing it. I'm not doing any of that. I watched the movie, but find out again if your airline does not have the TV screens in the back of the seats, if they're going to have they offer the perk of you being able to watch a movie in flight with your device, then make sure all your stuff is charged. And also, you want to take yourself a backup power supply. So that is helpful. So I do have a couple of backup power supplies, but make sure those are also charged. Okay. So that was about the checked luggage. That's about your devices, and your medicines, your jewelry, your extra clothes. And then, and I see that Mr. Marquez just pulled down a driveway, so we'll see if he decides to join us. Now, there is an app. I really want to tell you about this app. He has it on his phone, so I don't remember the name of the app, but I'm going to talk to you about it briefly. So if he comes in here, I can tell you the app that you're going to want to download on your phone. This will save you a lot of time. So when you're coming back into doing the re-entry, there are going to be some long lines to get back in. If you have global entry, hello, I'm going to get that. I have pre-TSA. But if you're going out of the country, you cannot use that. Now, if you don't know what that is, that means they've already did all of my background stuff and all of that jazz. So when I get to the airport, I don't have to wait in those very long lines with masses of people. I can go to the pre TSA, I think is what it's called, line. I don't have to take my computer out of my backpack. I don't have to take my belt off. I don't have to take my jacket off. I don't have to take my shoes off. I just put my suitcase up on the belt and I walk through. Saves a lot of time, especially if you're running behind schedule. However, when you're going out of the country, you cannot use that. So if you have global, you get global entry in TSA. It's really inexpensive. I'm getting ready to get the global. One of my sons has it because he does a lot of traveling. Actually, I don't even know why he has global, because he's never traveled out of the country until he went to Jamaica. However, he does have his cybersecurity clearance, and he does work. He does do a lot of traveling, but not out of the country. But he has global. I never asked him why, because he's the only one that had it. And my son that actually does a lot of traveling out of the country, he does have it, and his girlfriend. So you want to check into getting global. Now you need to try to apply for that about 6 or 9 months before your trip, because I heard that one takes a while. So I'm getting ready to apply for my global. So if you have global, also, you don't have to wait in those long lines. But if you don't, when you're coming back, if you put this app on your phone, when you come back into the US, there is a line that you can go to global entry, and anyone that has had this app, because when you land, you go ahead and you fill out the questions and you take a picture of yourself and whoever else you're filling it out for. So it could be up to 12 people in your group. Answer the questions, take each person's picture, and you go in that line. It saved us so much time. We just was in and back out, back to the luggage, the belt to get our luggage, and out of there. And so it saves so much time. And it's free. That app is free. Hey, Mark. I know he's in here, y'all. He don't want to join this live, I don't think. I need the name of that app if you don't mind.
PDC.
Say it again.
PDC.
P as in Paul.
D.
D as in David.
C.
C. And that's
It stands for something. Passport.
Passport.
I'm sorry. God, it's not that. It's MPC.
MPC. My bad, y'all.
Mobile Passport Control.
Mobile Passport Control. So you want to put that on your phone, and it is free, y'all. So that is like a huge tip. So put that on your phone. M as in Mark, P as in Paul, C as in Charlie, meaning Mobile Passport Control. That is an app that you want. Now, another tip to save yourself some time is you want to pre-register to enter Jamaica. If you do that, there is a shorter line for you to also join when you enter Jamaica. If you don't, there's going to be a very, 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 very long line for you to fill out a paper form, and you wait to see an agent. But if you did it beforehand, there is a separate line. You don't even need to see the agent. There is a little slip. You go to this little kiosk. You copy your passport. It has your information. It'll give you this little white slip of paper that will allow you to stay in Jamaica for 90 days. And there's some code on it, because when you get in line, there's a lady standing there and she sees it and she'll say, go here. And we got to go straight through. Now, y'all, I don't know what happened. Technology, some reason my husband's didn't go through. Now, I registered everyone. I swear I didn't skip him. He didn't get to go with us. And it took him a very long time. So we had to wait for him because he couldn't go right past through us, all of us. And so it was me, him, one of our older sons, and then 3 other sons, because my other son's coming from somewhere else. And so he's the only one that could not go. So the lady said, no, you have to get in this line. I was like, oh my God, how did this get messed up? So it looked like I didn't do my job, but I swear I did, y'all. But anyway, so if you go to enterjamaica.com, okay? enterjamaica.com. That is where you can go ahead and fill all that out, and it's going to ask you your arrival date. It's going to ask you for your airline information, and it's going to ask you the address of where you're going to be staying. It's going to ask you for your date of birth and your passport number. Okay, I'm telling you, it's going to save you a lot of time. So Mr. Mark, would you like to join the conversation? He's going to say no. See, he said no, y'all. All right. So I went over your sizes of your toiletries, all of your important stuff, your medication, the app for your phone, the pre-register. I'm gonna make sure I haven't forgotten anything. But y'all, I can't see if you are leaving me. Let me see if I can see if there's any. Can y'all do me a favor if you're here and just type something in the chat? Because I don't see it. And let me make sure that you don't have any questions for me before I move on. Let me just make sure. And thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. This live is totally new for me here on YouTube. So I've given myself a challenge just to check it out, explore, discover. For the month of January, which is my birthday month, I am going to challenge myself to go live. Hey, Big Rooster. Now why? Let me see if I can see this. Let me go to my channel. So my challenge is to go live every day for the month of January, my birth date, my birth month, and just see what's what, because I don't know what to expect. Hold on. Let me turn it down. There we go. Now I can see y'all. There we go. Okay, Big Rooster's here, and Shan Tyrament is here. So I got two people, right? All right, or at least one. So now I can see the chat. So before I move forward, do you have any other questions? I think that honestly may be the only travel tips. Oh, and we shared this yesterday. If you are planning to travel during the Christmas vacation, if you've never done it before, you better plan a lot of extra time, because there's a lot of folks out here traveling for Christmas. We would have never known other than watching TV, of course. So there is a particular park that I go to. So you go in your park, they have a little shuttle that comes right to your space. They take your luggage out of the car, put it in, they give you a little ticket, and you take note of where you parked at. They take you straight to your airline and drop you off. It's so convenient. I've been doing it for years, literally years. I've been using this spot. And so I even have a little card that I can put through their machine when I go in and the gate opens and I get points, whatever. Well, given that I've never traveled for Christmas, I didn't realize that, hey, they take reservations and you should probably have one because it's going to be full. So I was going to call them the night before to see what time they open, because I've never traveled this early. I knew we were going to be leaving at between 4 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. I was going to call, decided not to. I was like, they'll be open. I shouldn't have assumed that, but they were open. However, they had a sign up that says reservations only. So when we got there, they would not let us in. So they referred us to another parking lot that had, according to him, they had 8% of their lot left available. When we got to that parking lot, there were no spaces available. Y'all, none. We rode around, and there were a couple spots that had orange cones. And we're like, what's that mean? So we're thinking that means someone has a reservation. I said, well, if they have a reservation, there's no one out here. There's no agents, no one like the other spot to manage this. So quite naturally, human beings, right? And my husband did this, not me, y'all. They gonna move those cones and pull in because you're stressed. And you don't know what you're going to do. You don't want to miss your flight. And so that's what we had to do. We had to move a cone and park. And someone came right up behind us and parked right next to us and moved the cone. And so with this one, though, it's not as convenient as the other one, because this is more of a bus. So you had to go to a bus stop. But whatever, we didn't care. We just need to get on that flight. So make sure, one, if you're going to not have someone take you to the airport and you're going to be driving yourself and you're going to leave your car, call to find out if they take reservations. And another option, this is another thing I've done in the past, I'll stay at a hotel at the airport, leave my car And I don't sign up for the park and ride, y'all, because I learned years ago and it ain't necessary. Just leave your car. And then they have a shuttle that will take you to and fro. So that's another option. So it depends upon how much your hotel is going to be and how long you're going to stay. So if you're going to be on a very long trip, it might be worth you staying at the hotel and just leave that there, your car there. But if it's a short trip, it might be cheaper for you just to go ahead to the park and ride, I think is what they call it. So you want to research that. Okay. And when I first started to do that, I was a little intimidated, but once I did it, it wasn't that hard. So if you've never traveled and you're a little frightened, look, it's not that difficult. I promise you, it's very easy. But again, if it's an express lot of the airport, then it's a little bit more involved. You got to park, remember your bus stop because they have different stops. And then you got to lug all your daggone luggage, all that jazz. But if you go to one like a park and ride, they do all of it for you, right? Just remember to have tip money, okay? And that's another tip I would like to share. Make sure you have tip money because you're going to feel some kind of way because the people will make you feel some kind of way. So if you're taking that shuttle, not the bus driver, not the one that the express bus stop, but the one like the park and ride, they're going to want a tip, right? It's the right thing to do, right? Because they're really making it convenient. Then when you check your luggage, if it's curbside, because you can always do curbside check-in, that's another tip versus going on the inside. Curbside is typically not as many people as on the inside. You cannot do curbside though if you are doing international. So make sure you have tip money. When I say tip money, make sure you're bringing a bunch of ones because you don't want to keep tipping fives and tens. You'll be broke. You better have some ones so you can be tipping three, okay? So you need tip money for that shuttle. You're going to need tip money for when you're checking your luggage. If you're going to be eating beforehand in the airport, then you can tip on your card. When you go to your get to the country, Jamaica in this case, then guess what? You're going to tip those people that for the transfer to get you to the hotel. Then when you get to the hotel and you have the bellman, you're going to want to tip them. I'm telling you, make sure you have singles so that you may tip. If you're going to do any type of excursions and you are doing a taxi or a shuttle, that driver, when he's driving, guess what he's going to do? He's going to become your tour guide. He's going to tell you all about the culture and the community. He's working for that tip. So then you're going to have to tip. When you go do your excursions, guess what? All of those locals that work there, they're going to expect tips. So make sure you have tip money. Budget for that. That's part of the cost of vacationing. Okay. So does anyone have any questions before I go over my list to make sure I haven't forgotten anything? I think I pretty much covered everything. When you are traveling, if you're going to work with a travel agent, they will tell you all about your transfer fees, meaning the shuttle, the company that's going to get you to and fro from the airport to your hotel. If you're doing it by yourself, make sure you figure that out before you get there, how you're getting to and fro. Because if you want to do an Airbnb, maybe they will have a company that you can schedule that with, okay? But you need to schedule your transportation to and fro the airport to your destination and your return, okay? I think I don't... And last thing, if you are going to be swimming, ocean, swimming pool, jacuzzi, whatever, make sure you take an extra bathing suit, okay? Because normally when it's near the water, it's just humid, it's just damp, and it takes a while for that stuff to dry. They might have a dryer, a little laundry spot, but you don't want to not be able to go with your group because you have wet bathing suit trunks or a bathing suit. So always take an extra bathing suit. And I keep saying this the last thing, I keep thinking about things. Make sure if you're going to be doing these excursions, take a pair of water shoes, not flip-flops. Now, I didn't think about that. And so I didn't have any, so I had to purchase them when I got there. So it would have been a lot cheaper if I got them here at home or through Amazon. So take yourself a pair of water shoes and also your sunblock. Okay? So I think that is it. I'm going to ask Mr. Mark. Hey, Mr. Mark, did I forget anything? Trust me, he's listening.
What?
Did I forget anything as far as tips that I can share?
Um,
Inside of your room, this is the last thing, y'all. Do not, I repeat, do not keep your valuables out and your passports out in your rooms. Put them in the safe. Now, one of my best friends, she now passed on, may she rest in peace, my best friend in the world, she's had her passport stolen before. So make sure you put your passports in your safe. And in addition to that, make sure you make copies of your passport and your ID, okay? So obviously, you're not going to put the copy of the passport in the safe because, well, let me think how I'm going to say this. Okay, so I have heard that they can bypass those safes. So in the event that should happen, if you put in a copy of your passport in the safe, it ain't gonna help you if they took your passport. So keep a copy of your passports in your suitcase, okay? So we did make sure we took copies of all of that as well as your ID, okay? All right. Anyone have any questions? I thank you so much for joining me. And if you have a question about Jamaica and not a traveling tip, ask me that and I might be able to answer it for you. I was hoping that Mr. Mark would join us, but he's saying no. So I'm going to ask him one more time. Hey, Mr. Mark. Now he's ignoring me, y'all. I think that's it, y'all. So again, thank you so much for joining, and hit the subscription button, the notification bell, comment, share, come back again. I will be back tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm talking about tomorrow, but I will be back tomorrow because I did challenge myself. So I got to show up for myself. And as always, remember, there's 86,400 seconds in every day. Make every second count. Bye, y'all.